So we're being joined today by Amanda. Hello, Amanda.
Hi, Kim.
It's so good to see you.
Always.
So I have a little bit of a confession, and that is I know Amanda a little bit. I know some stories of her life. So I'll be honest about where I know something and where I don't know something, and where I'm stepping into intuition and where I'm like, this is known. Like this is known. Amanda, do I have permission to be like open book, or
Yeah,
there's yeah,
open.
open book is okay?
Have at it.
Okay. Now, I normally don't put this on the recording, but I'm going to put it on the recording today just so other people on the podcast can hear it. And that is if there's something I say today that you don't like or you think is really uncomfortable and you're like, oh gosh, that thing has to come out, like we can cut that out. We don't have to put that in the podcast. We'll take it out of the video and we'll take it out of the audio. And then nobody has to know that thing was said and that thing doesn't get revealed.
I'm an
So
open book.
I
You
know, but
you have
there
my
are some people
permission.
that be like, you can't say that. And I'm like, okay, fine, I'll cut that.
The magic of editing.
Exactly. It never happened. Poof. Okay. So when I step into your energy, I feel like you're asking, this is so weird. I feel like you're asking if you can just curl up in a ball and sleep in the sunshine and be left alone. That you're just like, I'm done. I'm done with it. I'm done with you people. I'm done with the situations. Like, can I just be left alone? Can I just have some time where I don't have to think or do or be or something, right? Um,
The
and
joys
I
of being
feel,
a parent.
what'd you say?
The joys of being a parent.
Voice of being a parent. Yeah. But I also feel like it has to do with now this is full disclosure. I know this about Amanda. She's had some medical concerns recently, and there's been a lot of poking and prodding and testing and studies, and like it's been sort of an adventure. So it's not just the joy of being a parent, right? But it's also the joy of being a guinea pig and a doctor who doesn't know what they're like, who doesn't know what they're doing. Not that they don't know what they're doing. Amanda isn't falling into a category. And so since they don't have a diagnosis that they are happy with and that Amanda agrees with, right? The doctors have come up with a diagnosis and Amanda's like, I don't think that's right. And so because of that, Amanda, I feel like you're just like, you don't know who to flip off, but you really want to flip somebody off.
And sometimes it's just everyone.
And sometimes, including the
Not to them directly. They don't have to see it. There's just times
children.
that you're
Yeah.
done as a parent too, and
Yeah.
you walk away.
Yeah, there's that moment with Ross and Rachel, right, where they're just like they do that thing when they right, and we all know what that means, right? We all know what this means. And it's not really that you're like really doing this to your children, right? You're not banging your two fists together for at your children. You're more like life is just too much for me and I don't really know how else to cope at this moment but to bang my fists together. Um
That feels right. And the nice thing is I have a partner that is able to step in when I'm not at my best to allow me and sometimes to not yell at me, but to be like, go, go be. You need to walk away, which yes.
yes. Yes. And I love that for you. I love that there's that person that like understands and is willing to be that unconditional partner, right? That is lovely. Not all partners are that kind of partner.
I'm
And
lucky in that sense. Very,
yeah,
very lucky.
yeah. You also have a partner who will be like, okay, let's experiment with this food, right? Let's see how this does in your body, right? Like you have a partner who's willing to do that, and that's such a gift. And who's like, that one didn't go so well, and we shouldn't do that again. And you're like, no, no, let's do it again. And they're like, no, no, I don't know if that's a good idea. I feel like that's been an argument a couple of times in the house. I don't know if that's true, but I feel like it has been that there's been a like you're like I want to do it this way just because I have in the past and I really love it and he's like, "Oh, that seems like a bad idea to me."
And there's times that he'll just let me go and do. Like food is definitely a trigger for me too, because things that I used to have versus things that I can have now. There's that aggression too, where it's like almost where it's like anxiety over food at times as well, because with everything with going on with my body,
Mm.
it's an unknown because with everything going on with my body, one thing doesn't fit all. So
Right.
it's I've got to try it and see, and I don't fit in that category of things that they think I should for food either, because sure, why not?
Let's make it even harder.
Great, it's fun, blast.
Blast.
We're going on almost a year of this.
Oh, has it? Is it really that long now?
Yep.
Mm.
So where you're getting that I want to curl up and be left alone, that fits. That
Yeah,
makes sense. Where I'm just like, I'm done.
I'm done.
Can I get an answer, please?
Yeah, can
If
you
you can't
guys?
get an answer, can you just go away?
Yeah, if you can't figure it out, will you just let me be and I'll just drink my vegetable broth all the time? Thanks. Bye.
I've upgraded from just vegetable broth, but there was a time that that was all I could have, and
That's
it
up.
was. I just need to remind myself to drink it because I wasn't hungry because my
Uh,
body was just so angry at the world. So
yeah.
we've upgraded, but it's still we haven't made where I want to be,
Right. Right.
which is my not being an involuntary vegan.
Being an involuntary vegan. I'm gonna sense into your body for a moment. I don't think I've ever done this. I don't do this very often because it's not, I don't know if it's really my skill set, right? I mean, there are times where I'm like, oh, I get that. And there are times I'm like, I don't, I don't see your body as angry as it was, right? Like, I don't see it as angry as it was. And I feel like you're learning how to communicate with it
I am.
and how to listen to it. I think a lot of us, myself included, right? I'm going to put myself in this camp, right? Where we don't listen to our bodies and we expect our bodies to do just whatever we want them to do and we don't realize that what we're doing sometimes causes problems.
Facts. 1,000% facts.
And then so in my instance, in my world, the way that it worked for me, it wasn't until I came off of wheat and sugar and, what was the other thing? Dairy. It wasn't until I came off of those things that my body was able to like relax and then tell me when something was bad, which is how I learned that flour was bad. And it's how I learned that sugar was bad. And it's how I learned that dairy was bad. And I was eating this really, really good yogurt this week. It was all like coconut milk and it was great. And I had it for 3 days in a row. And yesterday my body was like, can we please be done with this? And I was like, oh, I like it. You don't. And I feel like your body is beginning to tell you more clearly when something is good and bad because you're now open to that conversation.
Yep. It's and I've gone to like a blank slate essentially. Like when you take everything out and just go vegetable broth, essentially you're blank slating it. And
Yeah.
it's like my body for some things is super quick. I can tell you what I can because I can tell you where it is pain wise in my body. And there's other things that are good and I have nothing. And then there's other things that take a bit of time, similar to your yogurt situation. So it's one of those. It's a journey of listening and not just shutting off. Because in the past, I would just shut different parts of my brain, my body off to function to get a job done, to deal with whether it be trauma or just there's a work aspect of it, something that I needed to get done, and I would shut things down because I can compartmentalize really well, but that's not healthy. It's not a good thing.
And I feel like when you have one of those like worries that are in the front of your head, you have to like figure out which worries are going to be the worries that you focus on and which aren't. And I feel like you've been playing sort of a Tetris game. I don't know if it's really Tetris though. It is in the sense that it has to do with shapes, but nothing is exploding and getting rid of. You know, like when you make a Tetris wall, it explodes and drops and everything gets better. I don't feel like things are exploded and dropped and getting better. I feel like you're just like, I'm just going to move this shape over here and I can focus on the kids today. Or I'm going to focus on this particular problem with the children today. And then you're like, okay, I can't focus on that right now. I have to focus on this. And you bring the new shape in, right? I feel like there's like, okay, it all sort of fits together like this for now. But now this configuration isn't working in my brain anymore. I need them to be separated, right? I feel like there's been a lot of like shape shifting that's been happening where you're like, I can only before. I feel like your plate used to be really, really full. You used to keep a lot on your plate that you were like, I can do everything. And now you're like, no, if I get these three things done today, it's been a good day. And there's been a paring down that you've had to do because your body has demanded it. And now everybody else in the family is being affected by this change because you're like, nope, that's not happening. And everybody else is like, I've heard her say that before, but never to me. Or I've heard her say that before, but never in this concept, like context. Like mom's always been able to do it all, and now you're like, no, I really can't. And so there's been a shift in the framework of the house and the dynamic in the house, even where I feel like I feel like the littles are learning that if they want something and it's one of mom's bad days, they're just like, okay, I'll go do it myself, right? I'll go do it myself. Whereas before it was always mom, 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 and now it's more, there's a lot more independence happening, or a lot more like stepping up into an independent role, and they're feeling a little some way about it, right? They feel a little some way about it. But at the other level, there's a level of no, I can actually do this and I'm okay going on too, right? There's some mixed emotions about it where they're like, isn't mom supposed to be doing this? And on another level, that you're like, you got it, and they're like, oh yeah, I do have it, but I want to complain.
Yeah, and they're also getting older too, so their expectations are coming for us as like you're big kids, you can do this, and it's that pushback of not only me asking for help, but me in a way kind of demanding the help, where it's like I'm not the maid, I'm not this, I'm not that. Like, hey, you all can do this too, whether it be with me or my husband or even just like work tasks. There's sometimes where it's like I used to always be the person who's like, I can do it all, just like you said. I
Yeah,
don't need help. And
right.
realizing that asking for help is powerful. Asking for help is not like it's not a sign of weakness. It's powerful. It's saying that I can't do it all. I trust you to be able to do this done, and I can let it go of I'm asking you to do this, and you're going to get this done, kind of thing.
Yes.
I don't have to worry about it. It's being able to take that off my plate. I handed this to you. This is yours. Enjoy. See you later.
Bye bye.
Yeah.
Um, I also had an idea. I don't know if you've done this, and I don't know if you've like worked with. So there's somebody that's in our circle that Amanda knows that I know is a woman named Cass, who's kind of a shaman, and right, she's sort of a teacher. Not sort of a teacher. She is a teacher. Um, have you locked down your house?
Use more words with that. Locked down my house. How?
Locked down your house, like spiritually? Have you gone through, cleaned out your house, and made sure that there's nothing in there that shouldn't be in there?
It's a work in progress. Like I've done a lot of work for me, like me and stuff with like for my family over it started 4 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
And I am a slow adapter to change. Especially I can be very stubborn and there's things
Yeah.
that have to make me change, and it usually comes down to my family. Is my biggest my family is my kids,
Yep.
my husband are like my things that will, if something's going wrong there and I see it affecting everything else, I will then start making changes. I will kind of go mama bear in a way.
Yeah.
So it's been a journey. I'll say,
Wait, let me cut you off and
yeah,
clarify because I don't mean actual family life. I mean, actually, physically, your house. Have you like gone through each room and locked down the room energetically and said only what's alive and present in this world is allowed in this space?
Nope.
And made
Have
sure
not
there's like no spiritual entities that shouldn't be there, or
have not done
spiritual
that.
energy, yeah, energies or entities. Yeah. I think you and I can talk offline about how to lock down your house and make sure that the energy in your house is only the energy you let in.
That's fair. That makes sense. Especially everything that I've done working on myself and all that stuff that tracks where I'm more open to stuff that I can be probably more susceptible to
Lower level
energy.
energy. Yeah. So when somebody doesn't cross over, right, when they die and they don't cross over, their spirit sticks around and then they're not they can be okay and benign until you move something in the living room and then they're angry, right? And then you have a broken furnace. or or your body just shuts down and doesn't do what it's supposed to do because some other entity is messing with it, right? I don't know if when you get off your property or if your body acts differently than when you're on your property, right? I don't know. um but I'm wondering if it's not just I'm wondering if it's an energetic thing as well as a like your body trying to get you into some sort of like, listen to me, we're in this world together, we have to get out of this world together moment.
It's also, I think, a lot of things tied also to my mom because my mom passed away almost a year and a half ago. So that was in February. All this started in June. And I was not processing some of the stuff that I needed to process. So it's not
Yeah.
lost on me that some of this was, and she had lots of health things. So this is not lost on me that I am processing some of my own stuff, but also some of just
Generational.
different generational things as well, and like
Yeah.
healing myself and healing my kid and healing my
I
younger like inner self too.
yeah, yeah, yeah. And that is some hard work right there.
Oh, it's not easy.
No, no, a lot of us want to just like stuff that and avoid it, right? So when you do yoga and you start bawling your eyes out, it's normal. Like, just want to say, like, when you start moving your body and you start bawling your eyes out, totally normal. Because that's where we shove all the emotions and the stuff we don't want to deal with into our hips.
Mhm.
Do you have a burning question that you have for me that
No,
you're like, I really want you to touch on this thing?
no, I was open to whatever you were gonna kind of touch on, and I'm like the fact I'm like crawling in a ball in the sunshine. I'm like, where is this going to go? So, that kind of tracks.
I can't tell. Are you crying?
No,
No. Okay, good. I didn't think so. I didn't think I got to that. My goal is not to if you're crying, it's a release and a relief. It's not a like or I'm being seen. Some people aren't used to being seen, right? I talked to somebody in a session once and I told her like how hard she is on herself and like Snoopy tears. They like flew out of her eyes before they hit like her clothes, right? Like they didn't even touch her face. They just like
wow,
yeah. They were like projectile tears. And I was just like, you're just so hard on you. And boom, she was gone. But that's not my intent. My intent is to encourage, right? And to
yeah.
build up. And the thing is, I do see you trying really hard to do work so you can feel better. And I also see frustration in the fact that you're doing all of this work and you're not experiencing the relief you're looking for.
I've started to kind of let go of expectations with a lot of things, but especially my body, where it's like it will happen when it needs to happen, which is not, it's easier to say that than to like feel that. Like sometimes it's just saying it and keep saying it into existence until you start feeling it. But it's one of those things that I'm like, I can't control everything. And my body is not something, this is not something that I can control as much as I would love to, because
Mhm.
it's been a journey. But at the same time, for me, part of it's just letting go, and what will be will be. And
Yeah.
It's
I have to say, in the manifestation process, release and allow is the hardest part for me personally, and I don't, it probably is for most people. Like you really, really want this thing, which in your case is like basic health where you can eat, right? Right. We really, really want this thing, and then we have to like let our want go and let it just like open hand to the universe and be like, well, I'll see how this works out. And that is really hard when it's something as fundamental as basic feeling well.
and I can even say this, what I was expecting almost a year from now, a year ago to now, like it's changed because it's one of those things.
Mm.
What I thought was going to be isn't necessarily what is, and that's the hardest thing of letting it go, but also being okay with the outcome, whatever it is. It's like I want this. It's like cool, universe provides. And it's like oh, but it's actually over here. You look at it, you're like, but I asked for this. And it's like, no, but you need this, and it's just being okay with letting it go, and what will be. And it's there's days that I'm great at it, and then there's days that I'll just roll in the mud and just be like, "Rrr." But then I just pull myself out. I'm like, it's okay. Let's do this again.
Yeah, I think it's important to realize that like part of the human experience is rolling around in mud and being, "Arr, arr, I don't like it. Arr, I don't like it."
Mm-hmm.
All right. Anything else I can get? I can encourage you with.
No, thank you so much. I
Yeah.
love this.
Absolutely. Yay. Thank you. Okay, I'm gonna hit the finishy. Dooba 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 doo.